Tonight on Alaska's news source, sink or skim. Skiers and snowboarders are trying their hand at skimming across a pond at the base of Hilltop. And wet weather and warmer temperatures are in the headlines today, with southern parts of the state bracing for a wintry mix. And an Olympic homecoming, our sports team takes us to downtown Anchorage, where we hear from Olympians themselves.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
As the snow around Anchorage begins to melt, you may be seeing big puddles forming around town. They're a nuisance to walk or drive through, but what if you could just glide right over? Well, over at Hilltop today, people are trying to do just that.
Some noise, everybody! Oh, this looks good. Oh.
There's been varying levels of success. The 5th annual Sink or Skim pond skimming contest gives about 60 daring skiers and snowboarders a chance to try to glide across the water without breaking the surface tension and falling in.
We started Wednesday, digging the pond, getting it all ready. Started filling it this morning. As you can see behind me, it's filling up nicely. We've added extra feature this year. We've put a new big rail in, so that should be exciting for folks if they want to try doing the rail.
There's also a costume contest, and tomorrow at Hilltop, about 1,000 candy-filled eggs will dot the slopes for the Egg Bash event. Throughout the day, cloud cover has increased, and with that, so have temperatures. Meteorologist Braun joins us now with the forecast.
Yeah, Michaela, we are looking ahead to some warmer temperatures and just a little bit more of that cloud cover, and it's actually a perfect transition from the Hilltop pond skimming all the way into our time lapse from today. Now, you can already see more of that cloud cover increasing as that storm does begin to reach into parts of south central. The high temperatures today reached 38 degrees. We're finally warming up near 40 degrees, and that's only going to continue as we progress for the next few days to come. But with that Easter forecast, as tomorrow is Easter Sunday, brace for some of those cloudy skies across south central and even into Anchorage. Other parts of south central are likely to get a little bit more of that heavier rain mix, and into the interior, mostly clear skies. Going to see partly cloudy skies at times with the high temperature reaching closer to 40 degrees. And for Juneau and the rest of southeast, that's where more of that wet weather is lingering with high temperatures into the 40s across the entire region. Now, as we look ahead for Sunday morning, that's when that next low pressure system begins to make landfall, bringing in widespread rain and even a little bit of that snow into higher elevation areas. But parts of this low pressure system are also reaching all the way into south central, especially into the Copper River Basin. So be ready for more of that rain and a little bit of that snow mix. You'll notice that low pressure system out into the Bering Sea that is going to span all the way up the Aleutian Chain and up the Alaska Peninsula before it brings its next impacts into places like south central by the time that Tuesday begins to roll around. But with that snowfall total, we're not really expecting too much accumulation other than into those higher elevation regions, of course, and into the overnight hours into areas like Juneau and the Copper River Basin, where overnight lows drop below freezing. But we're mostly focused on more of that rain that's going to move through. Areas like Anchorage can expect to see just a little bit of a drizzle, but I really want to emphasize it's going to be mostly cloudy skies as we are sitting on the leeward side of the mountain range where that storm is passing through. So mountains are kind of blocking that precipitation. But for the rest of south central, more of that scattered shower is expected with more of that heavy rainfall expected in southeast.
One area of Daybear could see more than double the number of rounds fired than what has been fired annually, the base says. This comes as a decision about the proposed mortar and artillery training area's final environmental impact statement has been made. It says the decision authorizes some changes to meet current Army training doctrine. It says that includes all-season indirect live fire training at the Eagle River Flats impact area will be reinstated. The base will be allowed to use 155mm artillery, and the Eagle River Flats impact area will be expanded by more than 500 acres. It says because of the changes, the maximum number of rounds fired into the impact area is expected to increase from an estimated about 7,000 to more than 15,000 annually. Also, part of the decision, the base will put protective measures in place to avoid or reduce impact to local resources. It says that includes the Cook Inlet beluga whale. And all of the oil drilling rig that toppled over on the North Slope in late January has been removed from the site where it fell. That's according to the Unified Command Response Team. It says Doyon 26 has been disassembled and the debris has been removed from the tundra. It will be cleaned and recycled. This moves the response process into the third and final phase, which involves final cleanup, mitigation, and remediation. It says a third party is investigating what happened. We have more information about the cleanup process on our website. A group of residents in Fairbanks is collecting signatures, aiming to change when local elections take place in Fairbanks. Alex Bingle spoke with a supporter and an opponent of the effort.
A citizen initiative taking place this year across the interior aims to move municipal elections from October to November, aligning them with state and national elections. Organizer Tammy Wilson says this will be more convenient for residents and increase voter turnout.
Every year we hear how low the turnout is in October. I don't remember the last time we said that about November. It just seems to get more people out. And so really it is the more participation we have, the more involvement we have with government, which makes a better government.
Fairbanks Mayor Mindy O'Neill, on the other hand, argues this would create confusion for voters and have the opposite effect on turnout.
The consistency of having municipal elections over decades for municipalities in October rather than November is something that the voters expect here. And so to change it, we believe that it could create confusion.
3 different initiatives are trying to get enough signatures to put the issue onto the ballot in this year's local elections. One for the Fairbanks North Star Borough and another 2 for the cities of Fairbanks and North Pole. Wilson says voters are excited to see the change and wondering why it hasn't happened already, while O'Neill counters that the election system currently works and the change isn't needed. Alex Bengal, Alaska's news source.
When a similar proposal was brought up at the Borough Assembly meeting in 2023, the Fairbanks and North Pole City Councils unanimously passed resolutions keeping their elections in October, and the ordinance failed for the borough. This time, the sponsor's goal is to get enough signatures to add the question to the ballot.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.